Basketball and Focus James Rib Shack. Working a second guest tonight from the Grimsley Whirlies, John Puryear, with us. John, good to see you.
Good to see you too.
First time we've ever talked. I've seen you on the court, very intense, very determined about your game. What's the big part of your game, the most important thing, the biggest strength of your game, you think?
My biggest strength, I would say, is probably, being tough and my mid-range jump shot. I've always tried to get there. If maybe I'm out of whack, not hitting shots, try and get back to the mid-range. It's probably my strength.
Talk to Coach Griffiths about this, too. I said about your game, it seems like every time you get the ball, you're in a position where you could actually be ready to make a shot or take a shot.
Yeah, so both my coaches this year have really emphasized, moving without the ball, and so I've been trying to really move without the ball and get in that open position to make those shots.
And you get that rebound, you move pretty quick, and as soon as you get it, I guess the quicker you get the shot off, maybe the better it is because the defense, they haven't got time to come get you.
Yes, exactly. The more open you are, the quicker you get it off.
Watching those Duke players and those Carolina players last night, some of those three-point shots they took from the corner, especially Quinn Cook, it seems like they get the ball. As soon as they get it, they release it, and the defense is just coming at them by the time the ball is probably going through the net.
Yeah, you got to, especially at that level. Everybody's so long and athletic. You got to get it off quick or you're going to get your shot blocked.
John Puryear with us. Back in the day, I used to call you John Puryear, but do they ever have problems with the Puryear? I mean, if you say it just like it's spelled, you've got it down, right?
Yeah, you got it right. Yeah, a lot of people mess it up. But you say it just like it sounds, and you'll be good.
Once you get that first run with it, with the Puryear name, you're on your way. How do you think the layoff in the snow week's going to affect you guys?
I think it'll definitely affect us a little bit. A lot of our players have been in the gym. We've been playing some pickup at the Y and at a middle school, and I think that'll help a lot. But not being around each other might lose a little chemistry. You just got to get that back.
Can you get a couple of guys from your team together, a couple of Whirlies work out together?
Yeah, that's what we've been trying to do. We've got a couple of players, but not all of them been able to. Some don't drive, so it's kind of hard. Everybody got to pick up somebody.
Where you go to? You go to the local Y. You go to you mentioned a middle school. You guys
pop
into?
Yeah, we go to Harrison Middle School and then Bryan YMCA.
So you live in that's a pretty good haul if you go down to Harrison, huh?
Yeah, it is.
But you got access anyway. Yes. That's the main thing. That's good. Can you get 3 or 4 Grimsley guys together at least for a little workout?
Yes, sir. Yep. That's what we usually do. Try and get up some shots, work on our ball handling. Then if we got enough guys, maybe play some pickup.
Play a little 2-on-2, 3-on-3,
yes.
Even more maybe?
Yeah, even more sometimes.
If you can get a little pickup in during the course of this snow week, that's probably a good thing.
Oh, yes, sir. Yeah, it'll definitely help us out a lot. Keep your shooting motion in touch, keep your ball handling ready. That's definitely what we got to do.
You go back to that Smith game last Friday night. You guys had a pretty good run to get back in that game because you were down pretty bad early.
Yeah, we were. We came out to a very slow start. They were out rebounding us, out hustling us. We weren't communicating on defense and talking like our coaches tell us to. So we had to come back out and show everyone that we are there to win.
Kind of like a carbon copy of those 2 games. When they played you at your place, you guys got off to a good start, and they battled back, came back and challenged you. Then over at their place, they had the good start. You guys made the recovery.
Yeah, coaches always talk about it's a game of runs, and their first run was just way too much for us. And we recovered a little bit, but wasn't enough in the end.
Looking at your senior year, maybe your entire career, one big picture, what do you think's been the most satisfying part of all this Grimsley basketball? It's almost, you hate to say it, but you got to be realistic. It's getting close to the end.
Yeah.
So what's been the most satisfying part of all this for you?
Probably just coming back from my injury when I tore my ACL in my sophomore year, and being able to come back strong and help my team get to the point we're at this year, and just the camaraderie with the guys that we have and stuff. It's just been an awesome experience.
Take me back to that injury. Did you have to miss an entire year because that was an all-season injury?
January 4th, we were playing Page for the first time, and I kind of caught the ball and just fell and tore my ACL. So I had to miss about 15 to 16 games that year. So
that was your sophomore year.
Yeah, it was my sophomore year, so that was tough.
What was the battle back like? How soon after all that's done? So that happened in January 4th, right?
Yes.
How soon before you start some rehab stuff?
I had surgery at the beginning of February, and then I had to take a month off, just rest it, try and get my motion back, and then I started rehab in March, and it took me about all summer. I was back in August playing.
Who was your doctor that brought you through all that? Got a particular doctor you worked with?
I do, but I don't remember his name.
Was it Grimsley Orthopedic, Murphy Wainer?
Yes, it was Grimsley Orthopedic.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure.
He's somewhere out there. He may come back to us.
Maybe.
Did you feel like you came back full strength and finally reached that point?
At the beginning of my junior year, I was very cautious. I kept landing on my left foot instead of my right one, and it was causing me to throw my jump shot off, but my coaches, just kind of worked with me, telling me to land flat on both feet. So finally, at the end of my junior year, I really started picking up, and it's carried over to this year.
Who came up with the game you have? You had to develop some kind of particular game, a personal game. Who came up with your game? Was it you or some coaches, or just the way you've worked at it over the years?
Just kind of the way I've worked at it over the years. Ever since I was young, I was a pretty good shooter, and the mid-range jump shot always seemed to work for me. I was a lot bigger when I was younger than a lot of kids too, so kind of caught the ball in that area and shot there a lot more, but I haven't grown any the past couple of years, so kind of had to work my way out.
Did you play football back in middle school or high school?
Yes, I played football in 8th grade. I was actually the starting quarterback for Kaiser. But that's when I dislocated my knee. That's when my knee
remember when the
started.
Puryear's getting hurt. I don't know if it was you or your brother got hurt in a game one time. I remember sometime over there.
Yeah, I think that was me. It was the second game of the season, I think.
And that was the end of football right there?
Yes.
No more comeback for that?
Yep, no more comeback from that. A lot of the coaches at Kaiser wanted me to play for Grimsley, but I just couldn't think of what salvaging my basketball career for football.
That basketball means a lot to you, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
When did it all begin for you, going back to the days back in the old times?
Right when I was able to touch a basketball, my mom said, they got me a little goal that I could shoot on, and ever since then, started playing when I was 7, AAU for the Gators. So, I've been playing organized basketball for a pretty long time.
Remember who your coach was back in the old Gator days? Back in
Stan Kowalski, and then Marty Parrish. He coached me a couple years over at Southern Alamance.
Yeah, for the old coach. That's kind of neat going up against those guys. You're playing them now against your old coach. And so Coach K also coached as well.
Yes, he did.
Some interesting combinations there. And, you almost met, I guess, Southern Alamance again. You guys were scheduled to play, but I guess that's out now because of the weather. You almost saw those guys again.
I know.
They came a long way this year. Aren't you kind of surprised when it came?
Yeah, for sure. The last couple of years they've been strong, but that Jalen and
Carrington Young,
have come up really big for them. So
I remember I printed something on the website about Carrington Young will not play tonight in a game against Page, but actually he was going to serve a 2-game suspension, but they actually snuck a game in on a Wednesday. They played Graham, so the 2 games were Southeast, I think, and Graham, whatever. So he was back for that game.
Yeah.
But boy, Carrington Young's made. I saw them play Northwestern this year. People would be kind of surprised at the game that Southern Alamance. They gave Northwest a very good game.
Oh yeah, they did.
Very competitive.
I heard about that for sure. Yeah, they're a good team.
Other than your coach, who's been the biggest influence on your basketball career?
Probably my assistant. Can I say my assistant coach?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, probably my assistant coach, Coach West, for sure. He's really, past couple of years, ever since I hurt my knee, has really been working with me to get back stronger and better, and always encouraging me to be the best I can be, for sure.
And that's Coach West?
Yes.
Interesting. Now, here's another coach for you. Was it Grimsley a while back? Coach Fancourt. You ever played for him back in the day? I think he's at Southern Guilford now.
He was a varsity coach my freshman year when I was on JV for half the year, so he was around a little bit, but I didn't really play directly under him.
What do you think your best move or best shot is with your basketball game?
Probably a spin move into a mid-range jump shot, or just getting all the way to the basket, I would say, is my best move. This year I've been pretty consistent with the 3 ball, but in past seasons, that hasn't been, but I definitely keep with the mid-range.
You like that 3-point shot for the corner, or you like it straight up, or where does it like to come from?
Wherever, really. The corner's kind of always been my go-to spot, but the top this year's also worked.
Is it all about squaring up to get that shot to go your way?
Yes.
And if you get the ball, so you got to catch the ball a certain way, you got to get squared to make that shot work.
Yeah, well, catching it wherever is okay, but definitely squaring up, getting your feet set, bending your knees, really, your follow-through for sure is key.
How far do you think the team can go? You've got the next game against somebody to be determined, and it could well be practicing on Saturday. How far do you think this team can go?
I think it can go far. I think we can definitely surprise some teams. I definitely think we're not one of those teams that you want to play in the first round. We're a lot smaller teams, but if we get that rebound out and run the floor, we can wear you out. That's our coaches have preached all year: conditioning, conditioning, conditioning. So down the stretch, that's one of our keys for us, is to push up the floor, make the other team more tired than we are. So
kind of wear that other team down with your speed.
Yes, exactly.
Since you don't have the big man inside, who do you think Featherston, or is it Williams, or who kind of takes care of that load on the inside with the absence of the big man?
I think they both do, and we just got Tracy Pinckney back from grade, so he's definitely going to help us out inside, but it takes a group effort, and if everyone rebounds, I think we should be good.
Tracy Pinckney.
Yes.
Interesting. What if he's in relation to Ed Pinckney, who played for Villanova back in the day?
I'm not sure.
Got to look that one up, check that one out a little bit too, John. If you could play college basketball for any team in the country, who do you play for?
Definitely North Carolina. They've always been my favorite team ever since I was a little kid, so if I had the chance, I'd definitely play for them.
Where do you see yourself playing? I know you've got some aspirations to play some college basketball.
I've been talking to Christopher Newport and Bridgewater, some local teams, Guilford and Greensboro around here. any of those schools would be a great fit. I'm kind of waiting to see if any D2s will offer, and then see where I go from there.
I tell you, Bridgewater is not a bad selection. I mean, they play that ODAC, and we've seen a lot of their games show up against Guilford, Christopher Newport.
Yes,
not bad there either.
Yeah, it's definitely not bad. I really like the coach up there. They need a shooter, so it seems like a great fit. They're losing 5 seniors, so I'd be able to get some playing time, maybe earn some playing time, so that'd be good.
Ask Coach Griffiths this question. It's a good one for you, too. Other than yourself, and you had to maybe choose between, say, Jalen Seegers and Aaron Simpson, who do you think's the player of the year in the conference? And that's still a tough selection, a tough choice.
Yeah, that's definitely a tough choice. Especially with Jalen, he's got a lot of help from DeAndre and X, and Smith doesn't have that good or athletic guys, but they still have a lot of good players around them. So I don't know, it's definitely a tough one. They both are very good. They can both shoot the ball. They're both very athletic, get to the rim, big and strong. So I don't know, it's a tough one.
You look at it because Simpson maybe the senior, Seegers a junior. I mentioned this somewhere in writing. Well, go ahead and give it to Simpson, and Seegers has got a chance next year. But
yes, exactly.
There's just never any guarantees I'm going to do as good my senior as I did my junior year. Right? It's something you never know, so who knows?
Yeah,
still a toss-up.
Exactly.
But you've been in the running for that this year, too. Your name's been dropped in a number of times.
Yes, well, I tried, really come back from last year. It was definitely a down year. I played better at the beginning of my sophomore year, and I did a lot of last year, so I really tried to work this offseason and get to where I am today.
You got a pretty good supporting cast going now, too. Coach Griffiths talked about the fact you guys got good camaraderie. You get along well, you respect each other.
Yeah, for sure. That's been a big thing this year. We don't have one of those great guys that can just take over the game at any moment. We're definitely more of a team, and if we can work together on and off the floor, it'll make us better when we get on the court. So that's what we try to do.
You saw that game last night. Who was the best Duke player last night?
I have to go with Tyus Jones. I think he really carried them on their back for the past, especially down the stretch, hitting big shot after big shot.
Who was the top North Carolina player last night?
I have to go with Bryce Johnson.
Okay.
I think he definitely surprised us. He had a double-double with the rebounds. He was hitting his mid-range jump shot, so I think he did really well.
John Puryear with us, Grimsley Whirlies basketball. Got a chance to make some noise in the playoffs. Favorite sport other than basketball?
Lacrosse.
Yeah,
sure.
okay.
Yeah.
So you'll be on the lacrosse field this spring then?
Yes, sir. Yes, I will.
There's a danger in lacrosse. You could get hurt, just could ruin your back. What about the lacrosse, taking those chances there? Maybe
my freshman year, I actually got knocked out in lacrosse, had a really bad concussion. So, my parents have always been like, no, don't play lacrosse, But I don't know, I really enjoy it. I'm pretty good, so I just try and two sports, I feel like.
And at school, Grimsley, pretty successful, pretty good lacrosse program, too.
We've always, I think the last 2 or 3 years, we've been in the 3rd or 4th round of playoffs every year, so we're getting there. We're not over the hump yet, but we're getting there for sure. When
you get that postseason going, you love to get in there because you want to dig deep and go as far as you can, and that makes some long-lasting memories too, especially your senior year.
Exactly, and a lot of my friends play lacrosse too, so it's definitely a good time.
I know very little about it, but what position, where would you be on the field in lacrosse? Where are you out there?
I play midfielder, so that's like you just run up and down the field. I play defense and offense. We do the face-offs at the very beginning.
Are you a scorer, no?
Yeah, kind of. I think I was 3rd on the team last year in goals with 24.
Wow, so that's not bad at all. How many games you guys play? About 16?
Yeah, about 16, yes.
Yeah. If you're a midfielder, kind of like midfield in soccer in some ways?
Yes, exactly.
Gotcha. John Puryear, Grimsley Whirlies. What do you think's your favorite class over at Grimsley these days?
Anatomy with Mr. Huzzy. It's definitely my favorite class.
So you guys are breaking some things in there, huh? Taking some things apart?
Yes, yeah. We just started dissecting stuff upcoming here, I think we are going to. And then for our midterm, we had to dissect a chicken wing, so that was pretty interesting.
Not bad. Favorite all-time teacher?
Probably Miss Whiting, for sure. She was my math teacher last year in AFM, and she's really been a big supporter inside and outside the classroom, so she's definitely been a big help.
On your team, who do you think the game changer is? Who changes that game for you guys?
I definitely have to go with Mike. He can do it all for us, really. And, we started out the season 5-0, and Mike was really, really doing well for us. He was scoring, he was getting rebounds, letting the game come to him. And if he plays well, usually the whole team plays well. So,
if you had to go back, do the whole thing over again, do you do everything the same way?
Yes,
for sure. Changes?
No changes.
How about 20 years down the road, where are you going to be?
Hopefully, I'm a physical therapist somewhere. Yeah, that's what I want to be.
So that move with your injury, that kind of led you toward physical therapy.
Yeah,
huh?
I've been very injury prone over my life of sports. So, hopefully I can give back to people like the doctors gave back to me. So.
And you found there's a definite need there, a lot of business potential.
For sure.
A lot of opportunities. Stuck on the deserted island, got to play somebody one-on-one to get off that island. Who do you bring in to play? They got to be good. Who will you play? Who can you beat to get off that island? One-on-one.
Could be a college player or
Could be anybody. Yeah.
I'd probably play Nick Moore on my team. You know, me and him always go hard when we play one-on-one. I think it'd be a good matchup. And Nick Brannick too.
Nick Brannick?
Yes.
Is he with the team also?
Yes, he is.
I hear that name occasionally. I'm glad you brought that up because that's one name that doesn't stick with me quite as much. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Take a photo of your basketball life, the old selfie. What would we see in that photograph? We look back at your basketball life. What do we see there?
Probably me when I was 9 with the Gators when we won the state championship, taking a picture of that.
Man.
That's probably my favorite memory so far.
And that's back in your early
Yes.
days. Wow, state title. Do you have a nickname? Any kind of nickname? Because
No.
Coach Griffiths is Ice Griffiths.
No, I've never had a nickname.
No
Never.
nickname at all. MVP this year is going to get a car, 2015 model. What car do you select?
I have no idea. A Mustang.
Mustang?
Yes. Yeah.
I thought you might say a hearse, but no hearse. Okay.
No hearse.